Welcome back to Anime King 2, and I've deleted What If Naruto was an Archangel. I'm going to redo it and make it a lot better for you guys. I've kind of messed up the script, so yeah, I'm going to redo it. But today I'm going to be giving you a new story. Naruto Uchiha, the Sage. What happened when Madara revealed himself to be Naruto's grandfather and infused him with Hashirama cells, as Naruto will awaken the sharingan and later the Rinnegan. Hope you enjoy this story and get this one to 50 likes, and you'll be seeing next part as soon as possible. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. Start the intro. Start this episode on the 10th of October, the Kyuubi festival, as people in the streets celebrate the day that the Kyuubi was defeated, the giant monster that rampaged the village and killed their beloved loved ones. But he was stopped by the Hokage, Minato Namikaze. He gave his life to defeat the beast. On this day, most people in the village, their hatred grew as they decide to beat down the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, the child that was holding the deadly beast inside. Most of them believe that beating down the child, they are hurting the Kyuubi inside, and most of them believe that the child was reborn as a demon himself, without powers outwards. His name was Uzumaki Naruto. He had spiky blonde hair, blue eyes, and he wore a white shirt with a swirling Uzumaki symbol on the front, with the orange short pants and blue shinobi sandals. At the moment, Naruto was running for his life, which no 6-year-old should feel at this time. Naruto was not aware of what was sealed inside of him. No one ever told him. People just kept shouting at him that he killed their loved ones, and he didn't understand why or what any of this means. It was only on his birthday that the angry mobs would chase him around, and if they caught him, they would beat him with an inch of his life. But he was always recovered in a day or two, no matter how deadly the injury that they inflict on him or his suffering. His body was different from most. He healed pretty quickly. But for the rest of the days, they just stared at him with hatred eyes. But today was his birthday, the day that he hated the most. Running away from the angry mob was pointless. They would always catch him, no matter how fast his little feet ran. No matter where he hid. That is why he stopped run and just waited for the pain of today. Today he decided to just stand there and receive all of the injuries without asking questions, because he realized when he asked questions, they inflict even more pain on him. They talked to him as if he knew what they accused him of. Even though he knew that he didn't do anything wrong, he was still going to get beaten up. Doesn't matter what he said to them. His tears always seemed to energize them, giving them more strength to beat him up when he cried. "Ah, the little demon finally stopped running," said a member of the mob. Naruto said nothing. He knew that his words would aggravate the predicament that he was currently in. "Today we are going to judge you for your crimes, demon." He would get judged even though he didn't committed any crimes. "What do you have to say for yourself?" the people shouted at him. Each time they beat him up, Before, they would always ask him that question, and he will always say, I am innocent. Please do not hurt me. His words will get him smacked in the face. You are not innocent, the people shouted at him. How dare you say that, you venomous demon, after killing my wife and my little sister? It doesn't matter what the answer he gave, it was always the wrong answer. He always got beaten up. Today, he decided not to answer the question. You, demon, I am talking to you, answer my question, a member in the mob shouted out. Naruto coughed as he looked up to the man and said nothing. He was still going to get beaten, even if he answered the question or not. Every single thing he do seemed to infuriate the mob even further. One man then took out a kitchen knife and stabbed Naruto right in his shoulder as they waited for Naruto to scream, but he did not say anything or make any noise at all. He just stood there as his head was down. You're being very stubborn today, Kyuubi, one of the members shouted. Naruto's eyes widened in shock. He had heard of the Kyuubi, but now he was just called the Kyuubi. Naruto now figured out why the hatred in ants on his birthday. He knew that he was born the day that the Kyuubi attacked, but why did the man just call him the Kyuubi? Everyone know that the fourth Hokage killed the Kyuubi. He couldn't be the Kyuubi, could he? Hey, another member of the mob said, you know we are not to talk about the, you know what, the K word, because the third Hokage forbidden it. That old fool cannot do anything right here. He cannot really hear me. What is he going to do? Said the member that shouted Kyuubi. And it is not like he's going to do anything. You see how kind and loving he is towards this Kyuubi kid. And from a long time ago, he have been joining in mobs and hating this kid. And what has he done about it? Nothing. It is not like he's just gonna start caring about this kid. Yeah, you're right. Let's just get our revenge and go back to the party before everyone go home. As Naruto saw all of them rushing towards him, he closed his eyes as the beating began. He just stood there and took it all, not even making a sound of pain. It was just temporary pain. He knew that in a day or two that he will be back to normal. As he then blacked out. 2 days later in Konoha Hospital, Naruto was lying down in the hospital bed. His eyes could open. He couldn't move any part of his body and he felt no pain. Only thing that was working was his ears. He could hear the sound of two voices speaking. He decided to just listen in on the conversation and hear what they are saying. Hokage, why don't you just ask Jiraiya to come back and take Naruto out of the village? I have already tried that, Kakashi, and when I asked him, he refused. He said that he couldn't take care of the brat while already being in his spy network. And besides, you know I'm not fit for the parenting role. Every time I ask him, that is what he always said to me, said the Hokage as he looked down at the beaten Naruto. If it is okay, you can let me take care of him. I owe that much to his father. No, you are important and most likely one of the strongest shinobi of the village. We cannot lose you at the moment. Then what are we going to do about this? Kakashi asked. I do not really know, Kakashi. I just hope that Naruto remains sane despite all of the hatred he has to take. So you are just going to let the villagers who attacked him go away with scot-free again? There is nothing I can do about it. We cannot kill everyone who attacks him. If we do that, there will be an uprising in the village. Go back to your post, Kakashi. I will talk to Naruto when he wakes up. Kakashi simply nodded as he headed through the window. The place got quiet, allowing Naruto to process what he just heard. Naruto then knew that he had family, a family who didn't want to take care of him. It hurt him to acknowledge that fact. He still couldn't understand or come to a conclusion on what really happened to his parents. What he knew was that the third Hokage knew them and was keeping it away from him and not telling him anything. As thoughts came in his head, as he thought that they too might have abandoned him like his grandfather Jiraiya. But he refused to think about that every day because he didn't have any proof of that his parents abandoned him as well. The third Hokage knew everything about him and he was lying to him for his entire life. He was not going to tell him about anything that he had heard. But he was going to ask a few questions and he wanted to find out exactly who are his parents, and he also wanted to find out what is his connection to the Kyuubi. As his body continued to heal, 2 hours later, the third Hokage smiled down as he saw Naruto open his eyes. He cared for the boy like his own grandson, but it pained him to see what the village he leads always do to him. Such acts to a mere child. Naruto then looked down at his body as he was all wrapped up in bandages. It was like he was a mummy. He then looked up at Hiruzen. "It is good that you are awake, Naruto." Naruto just nodded as he lay there silently before looking up back at Hiruzen. As Naruto then muttered out, "What did I do? What did I do for them to hate me so much?" he asked sadly, as he needed to hear the response from the third Hokage. What exactly did he do? Hiruzen just looked down at Naruto as he gained a sad smile on his face. "Well, Naruto, people will always hate things that they do not understand." The same damn answer. The third Hokage always gave Naruto the same damn answer over and over. He hated that answer. "Why do I don't have a parents?" Naruto asked the third Hokage. "We have already gone through this discussion, Naruto. Talking about that won't do you any good. Now, come on, and let's take you back to the orphanage." Naruto's theory was confirmed. The third Hokage was not being honest with him. Naruto got out of the bed without saying any word and followed the third Hokage to the orphanage. A year later, over the past year, Naruto continued to live as a cheerful person, but under that cheerful mask, he had a calm demeanor as he see the world what it was truly was. A hateful, destruction, terrible place. Naruto had gotten lost in the Jonin lounge as he overheard lots of their conversation as he got some answers about himself. He had only been caught once out of the 5 times he had ended up there. Naruto was unable to get anything about his parents, but he had a sad feeling that they were dead. The fact that they were dead would explain why he had no other family alive other than his godfather, who abandoned him. The shock discovery he made that the Kyuubi was sealed inside of him. He did not understand what that exactly mean, that it was sealed inside of him. He didn't know how it was done, but he kind of knew that the Kyuubi was living inside of him, but where? As Naruto looked all over his body, as he saw the seal on his stomach. So he's in my stomach? Is he that small? Naruto thought to himself. But even if the Kyuubi was sealed inside of him, it didn't make him a demon or the Kyuubi. That made him the Kyuubi prisoner. He was like a jail cell. He now understands why the villagers always looked at him with hatred looks in their eyes. Instead of seeing him, Uzumaki Naruto, they all saw the Kyuubi when they looked at him. Naruto thought to himself, that is why they always did that to him on his birthday. But it was not like he was the Kyuubi himself. It was living inside of him, and he couldn't do anything about it. Being 7-year-old, Naruto could understand that, so why the villagers couldn't understand that themselves? When he asked himself that question, he recalled what the Hokage has always told him. People always hate things that they do not understand. The Hokage had been cryptically telling him that the villagers hated him because they do not understand his situation, and now he finally get it. It took him a year, but he finally got it. Despite knowing what he knew, the misery of a life did not end. It continued. Things didn't change even though he knew this about himself. The people still hated him. Naruto was backed against a wall, just a distance from his apartment. The Sand Dame, the Hokage, had given him an apartment because he was kicked out of the orphanage again. He liked his new home because there wasn't anyone there to make fun of him or anything. But he was alone, and sometimes it was cold to be all alone by himself. But at least no one was hurting him there. Today he decided to stay in his apartment and just wait out the day. But he was dragged out of there and being thrown into the alley by the group, the mob. Naruto looked at the mob as all of them were staring at him, at intent to kill him. It was a small mob today. Many did not know where he lived. He closed his eyes and waited for the pain to come. He waited, but the pain never came. He opened back his eyes. The mob had disappeared. The alley was much darker as he saw an old man with red eyes and a walking cane. The old man just stared at him without blinking. Naruto was quiet for a few moments before he asked, "Who are you?" The old man simply smiled and replied, "I am your savior." Naruto stared at the old man. "My savior?" Those words repeated inside of Naruto's head. "Why did you save me?" Naruto asked. "No one in this village does something like that for me." Naruto's voice reflects pain and sadness. The old man frowned at Naruto's words. It saddened him to see Naruto in this kind of situation. "I could not stand and watch those foolish men beat up a child," he said with a small smile on his face. Naruto gained a small smile as he bowed and said thank you. The old man then chuckled as he said, "It's cold out here. Allow me to walk you home before you catch a cold or any of those fools decide to attack you again." Naruto looked at the old man curiously. No one wanted to help him unless they wanted something in return. He tried to think what the old man would have wanted in saving his life, but his mind could not find the answer. "It's okay, kid. I won't hurt you," the old man said in a soft voice. Seeing the old man didn't have any ill intention towards him, Naruto nodded and got up. They walked to his apartment with the old man closely behind him. No words were being exchanged with the two. The walk was short. Naruto's apartment was nearby and the mob was close by his apartment. Naruto opened his door to his apartment and stood there. There was something bothering him that he wanted to ask, but he was afraid. "Go inside," the old man said as he pushed Naruto inside with the cane. "Do you mind telling me your name," said Naruto, "so I can tell the Hokage who saved me and what happened to the mob?" The old man gave Naruto a sharp look. Naruto shrank down a bit as it was fear coming all over his body with the glance that the old man gave him. Naruto stepped back as he then stepped back within the apartment. "Do not tell your Hokage anything about me," the old man said as he glanced at Naruto. Naruto nodded. The look the old man gave him told him that there will be consequences if he tell anyone about him. "Don't worry about the mob. I made them all disappear," the old man said. Naruto nodded. not really understanding what the old man was talking about. And for my name is Madara, the old man said before disappearing like he was never there. The man was not afraid that Naruto would tell someone his name because he knew that Naruto was a lot secretive than he let most people believe. Naruto stared at the spot that Madara had been standing for a minute before closing the door, and he headed inside. The events of the day has been enough for him. He decided to rest for the entire day. Everything will be okay because it wasn't his birthday anymore tomorrow. With those thoughts, Naruto threw himself on his bed and fell quickly asleep. And this is the end of episode 1, guys. So tell me what you think about it down in the comments below. And yeah, go check out my main channel, Anime King. I'm going to be posting 2 what ifs on that channel tonight. And don't worry, I'm going to be redoing what if Naruto was an archangel. And trust me, you guys are going to enjoy it. But I'm off now, guys. Peace.